Creating synergies across health, education, and agricultural platforms to foster resilient empowerment, empowered communities throughout the Caribbean and beyond. And now we call on Dr. Lockhart to share her information. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good evening. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you don't mind if I stay seated just for a little bit. I'll stand as I need. So, Ms. Sweeney said a lot. Dr. Lockhart did this and that, and I just want to say that the biggest thing for me is I'm here. I'm a Dominican. I'm from Point Michel in La Puette, Dominica. Let everybody know La Puette massive here. Mr. Deschamps always like to say, Dr. Lockhart, remember you have to be professional, but La Puette is in the house, okay? So we have to big up La Puette. And I see my Uncle Larry and Auntie Debbie and so many Point Michel faces in all over Dominica. Welcome and thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And what we want to do is encourage everybody here and everybody listening, encourage everyone to take the steps towards having the power over your own health, your own lifestyle, your own livelihood, your own well-being. And I thank you for being here. I'm happy you're here. I'm looking forward to seeing the change we're going to make in Dominica in terms of our health. And with all the diagnostics, let's deal with prevention. So what I want to talk to you about is listening to all what she said. Dr. Lockhart was in South America and Central America and a master's in this and a master's in that and a PhD in this. The more important thing is where our roots are. Without the roots in Dominica, I wouldn't have been able to do anything. So I lived in France for 2 years. I lived in Spain for 2 years. I lived in Mexico. I lived in Nicaragua. And without that root from Dominica, I wouldn't know how to deal with these people and how to get along with them and how to make myself. So what we have here in Dominica is so foundational. I want to, more than anything, implore us to go back to our roots, go back to our heritage, know who we are, welcome who we are, be proud of who we are, and take what we have to take us to the next level. That's what I want to impart on it more than anything. So this book will be a guide. It's supposed to be a guide to help us with our health, because without health, we can't do anything. As you all knew, most of you may know, I had an accident when I was young, at 14, a rock fell on my head under the cliff, a stone fell on my head under the cliff in Point Michel in Dominica during a hurricane. My brain came out of my head. I'm actually missing still the right half of my brain. Literally, I'm missing it. When you see the scans, it's not there. And so I'm paralyzed on the left side, but I've been able to live and work essentially on every continent except Antarctica and do what we have to do. Proud to be a Dominican, so don't ever think that anything on earth can stop you. If you have the health and you have a good head on your shoulder and you have support, you can do what you have to do. And I must say thank you to Mr. Deschamps, because he's been an absolute support on this journey that I embarked on, trying to pull together health and wellness and put it together on paper for us. So I just want to say thanks and say that now that we are here, let's take the step to move forward. And I'm going to say hi to Tao, to big up Tao, and everybody else who's here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. And did you hear what she said? The roots are very important. So it is important to know your roots, because if she was not well rooted and well grounded in Dominican culture, she might not have made it all over the world. At this time, we are going to have a word from Misana. Misana, she's a Misana. And she's going to tell us all about keeping our body informed with her touches she's going to give our body. She will let you know she has been in business for over 20 years and she does natural rubs and natural things. Everything here this evening is from your roots, from the earth, from the ground. So let us give her a warm welcome as she takes over the mic.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So as she said, my name is Miss Sana Peltier Harris, and I'm from Point Michelle too. So again, Lockhart in the house. All right. So today, tonight I'm here. Well, again, before I even start, just to congratulate Dr. Lockhart and Deschamps, and just to say that this is just such an empowering moment, for you guys, and just the fact that, as the young lady mentioned, your food is your medicine and your medicine is your food. But I'm here tonight to speak to you about, first of all, I'm a natural healthcare specialist, so I focus on skincare and massage therapy. I'm an esthetician, a spa consultant, and a professional massage therapist. And I also own a spa. I have my own spa located in Point Michelle, and I also recently developed my own skincare line. And it's all natural. And first of all, I'm going to speak about the spa part, the services part of my business. I think on island we provide I think we have the most types of massages that we offer at our spa. So we do Swedish massages, we do deep tissue massages, prenatal massages, hot stone massages, cold stone massages, cannabis oil massages, infant and child massages, and reflexology. So soon we'll also be offering acupressure massage, which is it's not acupuncture, but it's acupressure where you use pressure on your pressure points as a form of massage. During massage, we also use natural oils to do those massages. So can anyone tell me what you think is the most popular oil that we use to do massage? It's very popular here. There you go. So that's one of the best oils to do massage. Now, coconut oil. Coconut oil, yes. So again, there's a massage for everything. If you are tired, if you are stressed out, there's a massage for that. If you are constipated, there's a massage for that. If you need a detox, there's a massage for that. And all of those massages and all of those touch treatments, we use natural oils to perform those treatments. So what I'm trying to do is to tie in the natural stuff that we use to do those services. Anybody knows, of course, I'm sure everybody knows that the skin is the largest organ on your body, right? So you can feed yourself not just through your mouth. If we're going to talk about herbs and feeding our body and being healthy, you not only are able to feed your body through your mouth, but also through your skin. What you put on your skin, you feed your body. What you listen to is also a form of feeding your body. What you look at is also a form of feeding your body. But today, I'm here to speak to you about what you feed your body on your skin. Do you know that it takes about 26 seconds for anything you put on your skin to enter into your bloodstream? 26 seconds. And our skin is the largest organ. So imagine how we feed our skin every day. We get up in the morning, we take a shower, It depends on what type of soap we use. We put it on our body, it enters into our bloodstream. We put the lotion on, it enters into our bloodstream. Now, as we know, there are lotions that you can buy in the store, and if you turn the bottle at the back and you read the ingredients, there are some of the ingredients you can't even pronounce. A lot of them have steroids. A lot of them have a lot of preservatives. And all of those things are highly chemical. So imagine you get up in the morning, you take a shower, first with the soap, right? Enter into your bloodstream. Then you put your lotion on with all the chemicals that's in it. 26 seconds it takes to enter into your bloodstream. So sometimes as women, we may wonder, oh, why are we going through this? Why is our hormones out of whack? Okay? Why do we suffer with fibroids? Why do we suffer with PCOS? Why do we suffer with there are so many ailments that we suffer with now that our grandparents never knew about. There wasn't even a name for it because it wasn't there, it wasn't present. But a lot of things are caused because of what we put on our skin. So at Nature's Touch, which is the name of my business, we've developed about 33 natural skin and hair care products that you can use for many, many things. Okay? So one of them, everybody knows my dad, Joey Peltier. He's one of my inspirations. So he's the guy who goes around cutting everybody's moringa tree for them and producing his moringa powder, right? So tonight I have a sample of one of the products that he produces, and that is with moringa, guavade, turmeric, and ginger. Okay? Every time I say the name guavade, everybody's like, guavade, you know? But guavade, what it does, it literally increases blood circulation. So this is why it really works for men. Okay? Everybody's like, oh, that's for men. But if there's no circulation, what happens? Nothing happens, right? So guavade also, and it's not just for men, there are lots of women who suffer with poor circulation as well. Okay? And we also have a massage that we can do that helps to increase circulation. Basically, massages help to increase circulation naturally. But there are others that are more specific on increasing circulation. Okay? We have another product here, and it's called therapeutic foot tea. Okay? So this product is made with pink Himalayan salt, Epsom salt, and some herbs that are considered vasodilators, meaning they open up your blood vessels to increase circulation. Okay, circulation is key, everyone. Circulation transports oxygen to every part of the body, which helps in healing. So this one is a foot tea, so you put it in your bath water, and then you soak your feet in it, and it helps to increase circulation. Okay? And the herbs are ginger, rosemary, and cayenne pepper. Okay? So we don't only eat it through our mouth. It goes on our skin, and we absorb it, and all of that is natural for us. Okay? And as I mentioned about moringa, we also have products made with moringa. Products like this is a 2-in-1 face mask and scrub. So a lot of young people suffering from acne. This is a product that helps to get rid of acne. Because naturally, your skin is alkaline. But when you sweat and your natural oils, when it mixes, it makes your skin acidic. So what this product does, it helps to reverse the skin back to its alkalinity state, and then the acne cannot survive or they won't come. So it's a really nice natural way of helping young people, especially who are suffering with acne. Okay? I also have another one. So this one is made with the leaves. I also have another one that's made with the flowers. And it's called an age-defying mask. So the age-defying mask, what it does, it helps, it's really good for people who are, you know, aging, as it suggests. But what it does, it helps to preserve the collagen in your skin. What makes it nice and plumpy, what gives you that youthful look. So that mask helps to preserve that in your skin. Okay? So you see, you don't have to be going to buy the expensive stuff and, you know. Then, this is also something called an ultra moisturizing balm, and it's also made with moringa and beeswax and coconut oil, and it really helps to reduce the symptoms of eczema or irritation. Because you know, sometimes some people, they have eczema and it gets red, depends on the time of the year, depends on what they eat, depends on maybe the fabric that they're wearing, how hot or cold it is, and they suffer with eczema. This really, really helps to get rid of the symptoms of eczema. So all the itching and the rawness, it helps to heal that. Okay? There's also another product that I make, and it's called a honey cocoa bliss, but that one is edible. Now, I use honey and cocoa as the name suggests. Honey is something, it is a humectant. Anybody knows what that means? It means that it, see that? Yes, exactly. So it draws moisture to your skin, right? And cocoa is an antioxidant. It helps to keep you looking very young, and it fights against any, you know, all the bad stuff that is on the outside, the free radicals, the pollution that is outside. So this is also a natural way of taking care of your skin using the honey cocoa bliss. And it's for everyone. And it's edible, so everybody is happy. Okay. Then we have this is an insect repellent. Now, especially for the pesky midgets. Yes. So this one is really nice. It's made, the base is coconut oil, so which means it's very, very healthy for you. It's not, there's no DEET or any type of chemical in it. The only thing is you have to reapply more often than if you're using off, but it's either you want to use the natural stuff or the stuff with the chemicals. So this is really nice as well. We also do cannabis oils. And we have two types. We have the type that contains the flavor of coconut oil, and the type that contains the flavor of the cannabis. Because a lot of people, some people can't take the flavor of the cannabis, some people can't take the flavor of the coconut oil. So we have the option. Then right here we also have a hair oil, and the hair oil is made with coconut oil, castor oil, moringa oil, vanilla oil, and mango oil. So I'm saying all of this just to tie in, you know, the fact that not just food for your mouth, but we can also feed ourselves through our skin. Okay, so this is just a few of what I brought today, but as I said, we have 33 products. So we have lots of people who come in who have skin ailments. We have a consultation, and we look at their skin and analyze it and then suggest something that is appropriate for them to use. Okay, so just a short little talk on it, and then that's it. All right? So again, thanks for inviting me. It was really a pleasure being here, but I have to leave now because tomorrow I'll be taking part in the Creole in the Streets. So right now, my heart is here, but some of my brain is on the other side thinking of what did I leave on the table that I have to finish make. Okay? So thanks again for having me.
Thank you so much, Missy. Thank you so, so much. And thank you for taking the time. We know you had somewhere to be, so we're so grateful. And so one of the reasons I really wanted Miss Anna to be here is because you know what she presented is an overview of the big picture. So the big issue that we found in our research and in working together is that there's a bombardment of chemicals and GMOs and all these kinds of things. There's steroids and preservatives. And what I wanted her to show us first, before we even go into the food and into the book, is that it's not just in our food, but it's all around us. So we have to just be aware. I want us to be aware. And aware not just of what's happening now, but then to take a step back and You can see on the screen it says go back to our tradition and our culture. Because traditionally in the Caribbean, our diets was based on natural plant-based foods, and we got all the minerals we needed. We used to use coconut oil. You're going to hear a lot more about coconut oil tonight and learn and explore about what happened with that and what we can do with coconut oil and the coconuts we have here naturally. So what Miss Sandra gave us was this wonderful introduction to some of what we're going to hear today. Because it's more than just foods. Our whole body is often bombarded in different ways. So those steroids, those chemicals, they're in our foods too, and we're going to talk about how that comes about and what it does to us, how GMOs work and all of that. So definitely the idea is to be aware of what's out there and look at ways to go back to our tradition, because generations before were sustained by herbs and fruits and vegetables and all of that. So now it's up to us to take the healing power of the foods and the herbs that we have here. And so what we're going to focus on is using plant-based diets as the path for healing and well-being. And as we talk, you will see in this book we focus on a number of things. We start off looking at the reason we should go into proteins and plants, from plants, and into micronutrients and into antioxidants, why we should understand what those things do. So for example, just starting on page 6 and page 8, we're going to talk about the difference between protein versus antioxidants. And I'll tell you one thing. Everybody say, oh, you can't eat plants because you need proteins. But guess what? There's enough, research has shown that there's enough proteins for most people, or most of us, in our bodies coming from plant-based foods. If we balance and if we know what we're doing, if we pay attention, we get enough proteins. And worse than that, you can eat 6 cows and 12 horses, and your body will do nothing with that protein if it doesn't have the right amount of antioxidants, because your body needs antioxidants to even process, synthesize, and utilize the protein. So we just have to be aware. And those are some of the things that we'll address in the book. Then we'll go into water and oral health and snacks and recipes. The recipes from Africa on page 219, proteins that you can get from plants, and it's just so much. There's so much. And it's important to know that minerals are the key. That's one of the things you will see in here. Minerals are the key, because without minerals, our body cannot really do much. And if we have mineral depletion, then our enzymes and the cofactors from them, we lack. So we need to know where we can get those minerals from, and Mr. Deschamps will go into some of that. We're going to go into antioxidants and minerals. Like I mentioned, I keep going to antioxidants because let me tell you, antioxidants at the heart is the building block. It's the building block for health and wellness. So we start with minerals, and the key ones, vitamin C, E, carotenoids, polynoids. There's so much that we need to know about. And as you read this book, I want you to explore and understand, what are GMOs, genetically modified foods? What do they do to your bodies? What do they do? How do we avoid them? Why are we eating them? So as we explore, you will see a little bit about those too. Then this is the big culprit right here, ultra-processed foods. Ultra-processed food. Take a tour with me. Close your eyes and think of the store. When you walk into the store, into the supermarket, 85% or more, everything is in a package on a shelf, right? Close your eyes. Think about it. On a package, in a shelf, in a package. Sardines, tuna. I'm not saying you can eat a little something here and there, but they have to be processed. And when these things are processed, and we say ultra processed because they're not just picked and put in the can, they go through different levels of processing before they can be put in the can. They go for levels, different ranges of chemicals, different ranges of preservatives and steroids and antibiotics based on whatever the food is. And so in the end, we end up with food with very little mineral and nutritional value. And what does it do? It gives us this mix of sugar, and it hijacks, it takes over our dopamine pathway, the niceness that we feel. So it makes us want more. You realize when you open a bag of chips, you end up eating the whole bag of chips, or you open up a thing of candy, you want to eat all, because it takes over and it makes you overeat, and then what's the result? obesity, diabetes, inflammation, cognitive decline. And guess what? Yes, it makes our brain slower. It gives us sleepy brain. So that is the result of ultra-processed foods. That's something that we really need to know about, because guess what? A candy is so much better than a piece of sweet tea. And not just because of the sugar, but because of the way it's processed, we get nothing from it. Even when you eat canned food, most of those foods, they don't have the nutrients, because they have to suck it out to make it last on the shelves. So I want us to be empowered by the reality and the truth. And that is the key in this book. The truth is that what we did before was way better. What we have here has been better and continues to be better. So let's stick to that. Let's stick to what we have. So in this book, I want you to take a chance and look at the table of contents. There's so many different things. There's a little section on snacks, because people say, well, yeah, it's all well and good, we can eat food, but what about when I have to run? What about when I have to give my kids a snack? So there's a section on snacks, on condiments and sauces, and we just tried to put as much as we could put together in this publication for you, for learning and for empowering each other and for empowering ourselves and our family. And let's not stop there. Recipes, there are over 125 recipes in the book. From Caribbean recipes like Grenadian oil down, get some breadfruit with some seasonings and curry, and all green banana bread or green banana pudding, and green banana pizza is one of my favorite. There's a recipe for that. How do you make cashew cheese? There's a recipe for that in there. And there's a bunch of, and we come from African roots, so I think there are maybe 7 or 8 different countries, Ghana, South Africa, Uganda, with recipes, and we did research. It took us a while to write this book. Meet up with different chefs and cooks and restaurateurs and put those recipes together. Like chakalaka from South Africa. You have your peppers and your tomatoes and your beans and your cumin, your paprika, saute it, and you have an amazing dish. You'll see how to make Barbadian flying fish and cuckoo, plant-based version. St. Lucian Accras, and so we have a tour of the Caribbean, a tour of Africa with recipes and good stuff for you. How you can have proteins, or you can get whatever you need to. We try to put it in there for you. And of course, what about the light side? Smoothies, dessert, like take some coconut water or coconut milk, mix it with some spinach, some spirulina if you have it, some lime, some pineapple, make a smoothie, or make a banana bread. It's so rich in fiber, it supports your gut, supports your heart. And of course, if you want to boost your iron, throw some greens in there, add some nuts in there. So the book goes into things and tips you can do to really pull things together with your health through food. And a spotlight in the book, oh, I wish I could sit there and tell you. Fig. Oh, you remember fig? Fig. And we use the word fig in the book. We actually spell it F-E-E-G-H. Fig. And there's a footnote that said that that's the Dominican way to say fig, green banana. Because guess what? So I have a number of clients who have, I can't say they have cancer because they don't have cancer no more. I'm thinking of 2 or 3 of them who have stage 3 cancer. And the key food was fig, green fig. People in America had never knew fig before. And they're eating fig because fig is packed with micro and macronutrients. And I can go on and on about what's in fig. The phytonutrient, the flavonoids, the carotenoids, the chlorophyll. It's just so much in fig. You would never realize what kind of powerful food fig, green bananas is. And you can eat it boiled, mashed, baked, make smoothies with it. So there's a whole section of all kinds of things you can do with fig, from sweet treats to regular food, and just making an upjot by the bay or by the river, a little green banana fig jot, a soup. That works too, or you can make a cake. But I want us to think a lot tonight about how we ended up where we ended up. If we have all this beauty, why do we have to be here talking about that? Why so many of us have diabetes and high blood pressure? Why our country has this epidemic of amputations and dialysis? How do we move away? And I want us to take stock of how we've adopted the outside, how we've adopted the ultra-processed foods, and how we got fooled by some of what happened outside. And you'll see how Miss Anna talked about coconut oils and how great it is, and Mr. Deja will expand on coconut oil and what happened with the coconut oil industry and what happened and how powerful coconut oil is. But one way or the other, we moved away from that. Let's see why. So I'm going to tell you thank you again for being here, and I'm going to pass the mic over.
Thank you. That round of applause. Can we stand and we have been sitting for so long. Can we stand for 1 second and give a round of applause? Right. Just stand and give that round of applause. You may sit. We heard so much. You may sit. We heard the outline or part of the outline of this interesting book. Imagine making Barbados flying fish and cuckoo plant-based. So you have to buy that book. And the fig. We asked how is it the centenarians last for so long? Well, guess what? The fig. The answer might just be in the fig. And at this time, well, we heard a lot from Miss Anna. And if you want to hear more, you can call her. Her number is 1-767-295-9395. Because I'll always remember, she said, it takes 23 seconds for whatever we pass on our skin to enter our bloodstream. It is that quick. So never forget that. And I can remember some people saying, if you cannot pronounce a word, do not eat it. Now we know, if you cannot pronounce a word on that skincare product, do not pass it on your skin. Don't. So now we are going to have our nutritionist, Deja and Dr. Lockhart came well prepared. Miss Anna said we take in things through our eyes, through our mouth, through every organ of our body. And now we are going to get additional information from Perryman. Perryman. So let us make her feel welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations again, Dr. Lockhart and Deja. I have a long history with both these individuals. My children actually call Deja Dr. Deja because this is who we see when we have illnesses and sicknesses in the family. So thank you so much. We're so excited about this new book that you all have recently published. So my name is Ariane Perriman, and I recently entered into the wellness industry a few years ago. It's a pivot from a very chaotic and a hectic lifestyle that was more or less corporate. And the pivot was important for me once I had children, and I realized that a lot of what was prescribed for XY PQRST did not really hit the root causes of what the children suffered with. So I went into a bit of research, and then I did a diploma in holistic nutrition. And what's quite interesting about this field is holistic nutrition looks not only at food, therefore nutrition, this information, but it also takes into account emotional well-being and the metaphysical world. So we're not just one thing. We're not just what you can touch and feel, right? We're also our emotions. We're also what we cannot see, you know, those things that you feel, right? And it doesn't matter what religion you are, what practice you are, but there is something that connects us to a world that is beyond and above what we are here speaking about, touching, seeing, and feeling within our bodies. Holistic nutrition also is an area or field that today is unregulated. And that's quite interesting. And obviously, there are some concerns about it, but as well as it opens it up to allowing the traditional knowledge that we have, that we've received from our grandparents and our ancestors to be part of healing experiences that help us into today and help continue our healing and wellness journey into tomorrow. Healing cannot only be one thing, and addressing symptoms is not the only way of healing. What's very interesting is that a lot of times emotions affect our physical well-being. So stress affects us just as much as a high sugar diet, right? Stress affects us just as much as eating a lot of fatty, oily foods, right? So it's always important that we look at how to holistically balance what we're taking in. So just as Ms. Anna referred to, so we consume by our mouths, our skin, our eyes, our ears. We consume with everything, right? We even consume what we don't even know. So we've come into this world with luggage, baggage, gifts, and also trauma from our parents, our grandparents, and our ancestors. And we need to acknowledge that when we're going down a healing journey or a healing path. So I mentioned the cornerstones that, as a holistic nutritionist, that we address, but as well as we look at not only the symptoms that an individual shows, right? Generally, what we see in the allopathic, so conventional medicine, looks at a symptom. You have an earache, it must be an ear infection. You have a stomach ache, it must be a bacterial or a viral infection. And they look at how can they fix that or how can they address that. But what we look at is, what is the root cause of that symptom? So we go beyond looking at just a symptom, because you can have symptoms for so many different reasons. And our body is made up of different systems that are all interconnected, right? So when we take, for example, when we take an antibiotic for an ear infection, generally what that does is it kills the good and the bad bacteria in our gut, which then can affect us in so many different areas. It can affect our motility. Is anybody familiar with what motility means? It can affect it can affect our ability to go to the bathroom, right? It can also affect our cognitive health. So antibiotics can also make us feel a little woozy or fatigued or encourage us to forget. Sometimes antibiotics are necessary. There are also natural antibiotics, right, that we can that are available to us. But in the event that we must take these conventional medicines, we always need to look at how can we go back to some type of rebalance in the gut. And as I bring up gut, I also want to talk about inflammation. Inflammation is one of the leading causes of all diseases. And once we look at addressing inflammation, it decreases all of the diseases that may show up, like depression, like diabetes, like cardiovascular health. So for example, our blood pressure. So we see very often in the Caribbean that we have high blood pressure. We are affected a lot by diabetes. A lot of these non-communicable diseases are part of what we think is our DNA, right? But these are diseases that we can reverse easily by making small adjustments or tweaks to our daily life. And that could be in certain ways, like simple things like movement, waking up consciously, breathing, grounding, and even certain tweaks in terms of our in terms of our eating habits. So, for example, we heard a little bit about snacks, and snacks is like a bad word in my house, but snacking is really, it's not part of our original culture. This is something that we have learned through media, through TV, through being so exposed to the Western world, right? And ideally, what we would like to do is we would like to leave enough space in between each meal where our food is properly digested and eventually eliminated. Digestion is such an important part of our overall health. Digestion affects everything from not just your gut health, your mental health, but it can also affect your dental health. Digestion affects everything. Optimal digestion is the key to optimal health. And when I say digestion, I'm speaking about digestion as well as elimination, right? So let's not think that those two are not unmarried, they're together, right? So whatever we take in, we must be eliminating and absorbing whatever nutrients we're taking in from whatever foods that we are consuming. We heard a little bit about toxins, right? Toxins are everywhere, they're all around. Dominica is one of the most, I think, unpolluted natural countries in the world. However, there are toxins everywhere still, right? We're touching this table, this microphone, there are toxins everywhere. We're in an AC ventilated space. There are toxins everywhere. So ideally, the goal is not going to be to avoid toxins, because it's impossible. It is literally impossible living in this day and age to avoid toxins. They're in our clothing. They're in everything. What we need to do is we need to ensure that we are supporting our systems, for example, our liver pathway systems, that we are eliminating effectively the toxins that are going through our bodies. So all that is part of what I do and I teach. So I teach clients one-on-one, I coach them one-on-one how to optimize their health and improve that eventually improves their daily life and their quality of life. Yes.
Thank you so much. I listened, and what I loved about her presentation is that she was saying you do not only treat the symptom, because most time, recently we have been hearing of people having amputations, and after their leg has been amputated, they last for 2 or 3 days. And what do we say? Oh, she grieved the foot swing. No, something was wrong. That's why the leg was amputated and the person still passed on. Because if we listen to our nutritionist here, we only treated the symptom. The symptom was a sore on the leg, we cut the leg off, but then there was something else happening. A person will not sign up because of pain to cut off their leg and then grieve for not having that pain. So let us start thinking about that when we bring our persons to the hospital. Ask them if they are really treating what is really happening or just what we can see, because something might be going on which is not available to the natural eye. At this time, we are going to have Dr. Deschamps. I have given him that PhD, an honorary PhD. There are PhDs going around. And before I call on him, I will read his bio, part of his bio. Renauld Deschamps is a native of Dominica with a passion for serving and healing. The underlying word, serving. His lifelong work centers on natural and spiritual health, herbal medicine, plant-based nutrition, and natural therapies to ultimately center individuals back to the Creator's original plan of living in oneness with nature and doing God's will. Having trained and worked under the supervision of qualified pharmacists, so he knows what he's doing. When he tells you that medication has a problem, he's not speaking from the top of his head. Formulating and dispensing prescription drug medications and noticing a perpetual dependency on those pharmaceuticals with no real healing. Sounds familiar? My mother took pressure tablets for 32 years before she passed on. She never stopped. The pressure never went down. He embarked on a journey to find solutions. He thus shifted to field research with heritage studying healing herbs and plants locally and regionally, and working alongside herbalists and naturopaths, massage therapists, and chiropractor specialists. Over the years, he has built a deep knowledge of Caribbean and other natural medical practices and their role in promoting health and advanced healing. Mr. Deschamps has been actively involved in regional herbal associations, serving as president of the Dominica Herbal Business Association and participating in trainings, workshops, and seminars across the Caribbean and South America. These experiences strengthened his expertise in herbal medicine, quality assurance, and sustainable practices. He is the founder of Roots Herbal Remedies, created to promote Caribbean herbal medicine as a vital part of primary health care and cultural heritage. He is also a co-founder of the Natural Institute for Cannabis Medicine and Herbal Healing, which supported the research and publication of 2 co-authors' books, Natural Plant-Based Remedies, Your Gateway to Health, Healing, and Well-Being, and the Herbal Physician's Guide to Food and Nutrition for Health, Healing, and Well-Being. Mr. Deschamps specializes in nutrition, herbal medicine, and therapeutic applications such as healing oils, poultices, and massage therapies. He also co-founded and operated Roots Healing Foods, a vegan restaurant in Roseau dedicated to foods in medicine. Today, he continues to develop and formulate natural remedies aimed at reversing diseases, strengthening communities, and making holistic health more accessible across the Caribbean. At this time, I will hand over to Mr. Deschamps. Let's give him a round of applause as we welcome him.
Thank you, Miss Winnie, and good evening to everyone that is here tonight. I must say I appreciate you, and I'm very thankful for your support as locals, because we all are locals, Dominicans, trying our best to make a difference, for our island first, and then beyond our neighboring islands, our sister islands, and the world. I feel like a child. I feel like I have a worm in my bottom. I need to get up and walk around. I need to show some energy. I'm plant-based. I'm full of energy. So I hope I can transmit some of my energy into you this evening, because I feel we are kind of too docile, too quiet. Yes, so as Miss Winnie said, I am Deschamps. But how did I find myself in this position to be able to stand before you and speak of something so delicate, health? I also have a lamentation. Though I'm in a season to celebrate my achievement with Dr. Lockhart, and I must say it's not our achievement, it's not Dr. Lockhart and myself achievement, it's our achievement as Dominica, because that is what we represent. And the information that we use for healing, it belongs to Dominica. It's our cultural heritage. The using of our herbs, our foods, and our water. So it belongs to all of us. I lament because we have been blessed with all these resources, and yet still we suffer. We suffer from basic illnesses, high blood pressure, diabetes. I mean, cancer now is ridiculously high right now in our communities. We mentioned amputations. And my beautiful people, I'm so saddened and sick of amputations. Because in my recollection, in my mind, through research, in terms of slavery, amputations were one of the methods or the mediums they used to cause harm to our people, to punish our people. Remove a limb, remove a hand. And in this present era, we are seeing as part of our medical system or healthcare system, amputation is way above our heads. And the saddest thing about amputations, do you know that your foot strengthens your heart? So whenever we compromise our bodies, something else will malfunction and bring us into further demise. So there's a lot I can say to you, but I will keep on track with my fellow presenters. You know, I'm a man of the 70s. And Miss Queenie mentioned me as a trained pharmacist and all these other beautiful things she said about me. But I would like to live with you tonight and consider me as your brother. Consider me as your friend. Consider me as your bush doctor, your community herbal doctor. Because in Dominica, we have the history in different communities of elderly persons that we knew specifically. You know, when we're sick, we go to Mabruni and she give us some herbal concoction that we can use for colds or whatever abnormalities that we would have experienced. So we have that culture of natural healers. And I present myself to you as a natural healer from my culture, not one that was given any accolades from any universities. Because the truth of the matter is that 20 years ago, I worked as a dispenser at one of our major pharmacies. I dispensed pharmaceutical drugs. And at the same time, I had the opportunity to interact with the people that I dispense these drugs to. And my beautiful people, for some reason, I questioned my occupation. I had no problem with my salary. I had no problem with my colleagues. I love my colleagues, they love me. But for some reason, I was disturbed by the information that I saw when I revised the medical books of the persons that I served. To my awareness, rather that the disease decrease and medication decrease, disease were increasing and medication also increased while the person was getting more sick or more ill. From one medication, as I flip the pages, 3 medications, flip the pages, 5 medications, and the list goes on. And I would question and say, but why are we on medication for 10, 15, 20, 30 years of our life? Rather than we get healing or some resolution, we find ourselves with more complex conditions. Are we aware of what we call dialysis? 30 years ago, did you know what is dialysis? I'm speaking to us, my beautiful people. Let's interact. We never knew such conditions. But do you know right now, the hospital is overwhelmed with patients that are on dialysis. And the saddest thing is that we said we don't know what is causing these conditions. Do you remember 30 years ago, they say our coconut oil was not good? They say our coconut oil will give you heart attack and strokes, clog your arteries. And we believe them. What did we replace it with? Soya oil, corn oil. canola oil, vegetable oil. And what is the outcome? More cardiovascular diseases, more heart attacks, more strokes, more clogging of the arteries. They say our cane juice is too sweet. They say it will give us diabetes. They are replaced it with high fructose corn syrup. They are replaced it with white sugar. They are replaced it with aspartame. Aspartame, does that ring a bell to anyone? Are we aware of what is aspartame? Aspartame is the sugar that is recommended for diabetics. Do you know that aspartame is a cancer agent? And this is for research, I'm saying this to you. They told us our cocoa, it is high in fats, and it also clog your arteries. While they give us Ovaltine, Milo, Chocolisto, after that remove all the nutrients from the cocoa bean. They look at us as third world. In Dominican dialect, commerce. And we accepted that. Am I blaming us? No. But I'm blaming the leaders, those that we put our trust in to guide us and to lead us into optimum health. They told us, who is they, by the way? Anyone know who's they? They. Who is responsible for healthcare? WHO, Paula, and the host of foreign agencies. They say that cannabis will get you psychotic. Cannabis is a gateway drug to higher drugs. Do you know that right now cannabis is considered to be one of the plants from the Garden of Eden? Do you know that now cannabis is being seen as a miracle plant that has the potential to reverse cancer? And I can attest to that. I have seen it. So they have said many things, and we have been believing them. Then I could say our colonial masters, those that enslaved us, are still giving us our medicines and our foods. Hence, the position we are in today. But are we going to continue and be naive and ignorant? No. Because the status that we are in, it does not connect to the island. The nature island, full of health and wellness and rejuvenation and spas and natural spas, full of energy, vibrancy. Are the people, the inhabitants, the same? Are we vibrant? We are ill, my people. And I say we because I'm part of you. But we don't have to be ill. We don't have to remain ill. Because the truth of the matter is that we are at a war no health. And I'm saying this to you not to speak of any gloom or any vulnerable state that we are in. I'm saying this to you for you to be aware of where we are. And I'm saying to you that we have every single resource that we need to eradicate, not maintenance, eradicate these diseases. We have it. We have the herbs, organic herbs. We have the foods. My beautiful people, we are natural people. We are organic people. Do I have to prove that to you? Do I have to prove that to you? But I feel I have to prove that to you. Think about it. We are cellular beings. The evidence, we are cellular beings. Okay? We are made up of trillions of cells. And do you know that there are elements that the cell is made up of? There are elements. And these elements consider carbon. Okay? Consider hydrogen. Consider oxygen. Consider phosphorus. I missed out one. Anybody can help me? I said nitrogen. Carbon. Okay? And we can attest that all these elements are organic by their very nature. They're organic. So I'm saying to us, the science have proven to us that as organic people, organic beings, the only substance, I stress, the only substance that can complement and heal that organic body has to be a substance the body is made up of. Should I rephrase that statement? To simplify it on a layman's term, any substance that you choose to consume needs to be natural. Because your body is natural. And hence the evidence that I've seen. That is why your medical doctor, and let me be mindful of that, we have no ill against our nurses and our medical doctors, because they are doing a wonderful job. But we believe the system that they're using is error. And has been proven to be an error over and over. I don't want to be part of the error. I want to be part of the solution. So I'm saying to us, the reason why we cannot reverse hypertension, diabetes, cancer, fibroids, and a host of diseases, because we are using synthetic drugs trying to heal a natural body. Science cannot validate that. Why are we accepting that? We are accepting that. The pharmacies are filled every month. I saw my grandmom, my grandmother, saw multiple strokes. My grandmother was fond of a nurse. She went to her health center regularly, took her medication regularly. I saw my neighbor suffer from heart attacks, took the medication regularly. Growing up, I thought that was the norm. I thought I will eventually come to that point where I'll be sick. But working at the pharmacy and seeing the evidence, what drug medication can do to your body, I came to the understanding and the conclusion that these have caused the demise, and this is continuing to cause the demise, and situations that we experience of amputations and persons on medications for 40 years of their life. So we can reverse disease. We have reversed disease. I take no credit to tell you that we have reversed cancer through the medium of herbs. We have reversed diabetes through the medium of herbs and nutrition. Because the truth of the matter is that nutrition alone can reverse every illness known to man. And when we say nutrition, let's not exempt herbs. Because herbs is the densest nutrition that we can have. You're looking for iron. Where you go to? You have purslane. And where we have purslane, locally we call it coupier. And where we have coupier, coupier grows on the roadside, on the highways, and the byways. We have stinging nettle. Locally we call it zuti. Excellent source of iron. Do you know that you can incorporate these into your salads? We have the herbs. What is preventing us from exploring the beautiful kingdom or this beautiful herbarium of herbs that we have? What is preventing us? Is it unbelief or disbelief? Or it is too simple? We want something more complex? But I will say to you, in my experience, nature has made the complex simple. A simple change of your diet will show a significant change in your general well-being. And I'm not saying this from someone I heard speaking about this. I'm saying this because I've been walking the walk. So anyone in here that has any condition that some medical doctor say, hey, you're going to die in 2 months. Just say to him, the same to you now. Don't let fear intimidate you, because that's one of the factors that they use. When you're fearful, you're twice defeated. Knowledge is power, my beautiful people. And tonight, that's my objective, to empower you. To empower you, that's all. If I leave today, tonight, and one person is empowered, my work is done. But my work cannot be done, my beautiful people. And the work cannot be done by just these presenters. We need all of you in this room to join the forces with us, because we need a change. We cannot continue on this path. This is not an illusion. It's a reality. We was there before. Wasn't we one of, Dominica. One year Dominican is a healthy person you're thinking of. We have centenarians, aren't we? Yes. Are there not universities and laboratories that we can explore? But we disregard them. Because one of the things I have seen and experienced, as one being part of the Caribbean Herbal Business Association, one of the shortcomings, we would say, that we have at present, is we have no laboratories to test our plants, to test our foods. But I say to us, we have living laboratories. We have living libraries. We have living examples of the elderly. The elderlies are those that are there to show us the foundation, the way to go. But we really disregard them as old and like they're ready to go. But I'm saying to you that the word and the gospel, it's a gospel of healing that I've received. It started with them. They had no access to literature or science. But how did my grandmother know that if I have insomnia, to give me some sour tea to drink? You ever question that? Even though the question is beyond our comprehension. This is knowledge passed on from generation to generation. This is the treasures that we need to preserve. And while we are not preserving, do you know that your parents are coming in to infiltrate your information and maximize all information and keep you more ignorant of your own information? Because the more ignorant you are, some people, they thrive on your ignorance. By now, we know who they are. My beautiful people, to write a book, it's very tedious. Dr. Lockhart took me the extra mile at 2 o'clock in the morning on a telephone and going over one thing a million times because she doesn't settle easily. No! This young lady goes for research and research to make sure that she writes facts. So I will say to us, your support means a lot. They also say that if you want a black man, you want to hide information on a black man, put it in a book. You have all heard that before. But we have proven them wrong. While they think we're dumb, we're studying when they're sleeping. So Dominicans, We have the ability to take care of ourselves. We have everything that we need. Let's not look for someone from some other first world countries to tell us, oh, your sugarcane is good. It is full of energy. It is full of vitamin B and iron. And you need to consume it every day. I am telling you, you need to drink cane juice every day. I am telling you, you need to go back to your coconut oil. We have no idea what we have lost. Coconut oil, it is so amazing that it is said that if your immunological system is working to the optimum level, it's impossible to get sick. Do you know that coconut oil contains active compounds that can help to boost your immune system? Uric acid is one of them. Do you know that coconut oil is good for your heart? Do you know that coconut oil is good for your brain? And as recent as 2 days ago, I had a client from Antigua. He came with his wife. His wife is suffering from dementia. And she has these nervous conditions. My beautiful people have no reason to tell no fables or untruths. The man told me that he got angry and for some reason it affected his wife. And she was like in tremors. He told me he administered 2 tablespoons of coconut oil to her in less than a minute. The tremors was gone. Are you hearing me? Yes. 2 tablespoons of coconut oil could stop, could control your nervous system, could regulate your nervous system. And that is what food does. Foods that are natural and organic works in synergy. Foods are the natural foods are very intelligent. They have inborn intelligence. They're living like we. You want to live longer? Let's eat living foods. You want to live longer? Let's eat living plants. The herbs are for the healing. The herbs are for the healing, my beautiful people. I think it's justifiable to share with you. Because my presenters, yes, they share with you, but for some reason, I know I'm unique, I'm different. And that should not make us see each other as, insignificant. Difference is good. Upon this journey of healing which I've walked, I have seen dying people get back energy. And I can share with you that this elderly man in his late 70s from Curacao, Mr. Swice, this gentleman came to one of my sessions. I held a lecture. And this man came to my lecture walking like a robot. Inflamed prostate, hypertension, diabetes. And this man was on 9 different medications. After I've spoken, he came and he asked me, Mr. Deja, can you work with me? I tell him, yes, I can help you. After years of having these conditions, within 3 weeks, 21 days, this man could walk, no pain. He was popping a painkiller at least every 5 minutes. This man was told to remove his prostate gland. Advised him not to. He listened. And through herbal medicines and nutrition and therapy, which I administered twice a week, in 3 weeks, this man could be independent again. I've seen what herbs and good nutrition can do, my beautiful people. And we start to hold this back from you. Hence the reason we are launching this book so that you can have the power within your hands. Because you are responsible for your own health. So in a nutshell, that's the message I would like to share with you. Because no one knows you better than yourself. So it's time you take your health back into your hands. Let's reconnect to our roots because we are disconnected. And the disconnection is causing all these abnormalities. We can connect because nature is alive and well. I'm saying to us, let's embrace Mother Nature. And when you embrace Mother Nature, ultimately you embrace the Creator. And know that the further we go against Mother Nature, away from Mother Nature, is the more complex life will be. The message is very simple. Herbs can heal you. Good nutrition can heal you. My pause is just for you to meditate on the words that I say to you. I have no rush. Because I know that if we do the things that have been advocated about this evening, we will see a difference. Do you know that in 90 days, you can have new blood? In 90 days, you can reverse virtually any disease. Why are you going 20 years taking a drug medication? And in our minds, it will do something good to us. But in reality, it does not. So no longer we have been enslaved with shackles on our hands and shackles on our feet, but rather than, can anyone finish? Shackles on our brains. We need to unshackle our brains, my beautiful people. Because we are not a vulnerable nation. We have everything it takes to regain our health. We have everything it takes to reverse cancer and all these non-communicable diseases. Okay. I go to my slide presentation. Coconut oil, my beautiful people, I was always disturbed when I found out of the history of coconut oil. We thrived on coconut oil in the 50s and the 60s. We had no obesity. Was there any obesity? Tell me. Because I'm much younger than most of you all. Was there obesity at the time? 1950s to 1960s in Dominica? It had fat. Is it comparable to the fat obesity we see in this present time? No. Excuse me? Exactly. So, the information we got on coconut oil, the evidence, we have no evidence of that. But yet still we believe. Did you know that there was a conspiracy? The corn industry, the vegetable oil industry, even the olive oil industry conspired against coconut. And they paint a false narrative on coconut oil, saying that it is highly saturated with fats. And we believe our coconut industry was destroyed 30, 40 years after. What are we hearing? But where's the coconut oil? The common man cannot afford about coconut anymore. Can you believe it? Every poor man could afford to make coconut oil in their own kitchens. And now we have to import it from those that told us 40 years ago that it was bad for us. And I was so saddened by this because who is defending us? Who is looking at our backs? Coconut oil, my beautiful people, please, we all should have a bottle of coconut oil in our kitchen cupboards. Go ahead. benefits of coconut oil is remarkable. I just gave you a living example, a living testimony just from 2 days ago from a client. And I'm saying to you, you don't have to have dementia. You don't have to have any present condition, because these medicines and foods act as prevention. Prevention is better than cure. We have accepted all these processed oils that cause inflammation, clog our arteries, clog our vessels. And they told us that these oils were more superior than coconut oil. Go ahead, Paula. Another very important area is our foods. The foods that our grandparents used to walk miles to plant, like our Deschamps, our yams. We are being told this produce has too much starch. And the starches, it will raise your blood sugar levels. It will cause diabetes. We were told so. Anyone remember, the days of old, our grandparents used to go right in the mountains. I know of some elderly people I'm from the south of the island, that's where my roots are from. And there's a place called Zemigwe. The old people used to go right in Zemigwe, they tell you what they have is a Deschamps. The Deschamps big like their hair. And they have a free Deschamps. Not more than 3 Deschamps, because the weight is strictly organic. Did they suffer from diabetes, poor circulation, heart attack, strokes? No. They were vibrant and strong. So I'm saying to us, our Deschamps, our yam, our wawa, all these ground foods, our body can assimilate them, our body can recognize them, because they're part and parcel of who we are. They came from the soil. And these starches, your body utilizes them for energy. It does not linger in your system. But we have replaced these starches with pasta, white rice, white flour. Do you know that these so-called food items can be metabolized? Your body can't break them down, especially the white flour. We have the culprit, the protein in the white flour called gluten. Your body can't break down gluten. It stays in your body, and this creates what they call inflammation. Inflammation is one of the diseases that bombards us this day because of the compromising of our mucous membrane. We are eating acidic foods. Organic foods are alkaline by their very nature, as we are alkaline by our very nature. Our sugars, I explained about our cane juice. Our grandparents at their task force had their mechanisms to squeeze cane juice, and you wonder, wow, where did they get that technology from? They add cane juice to their cocoa tea. No diabetes, but rather energy. We have replaced this with our white sugars. Do you know that sugar destroys your lymphocytes? You all know what are lymphocytes? That's our defense mechanism of white blood cells. Sugar destroys it. Synthetic sugar, processed sugar. Our children, we love them to death. We give them sweets. We give them busters. We give them these foods, and we say we love them. Now we are on of juveniles having diabetes. In my opinion, because of the amount of people I see on a daily basis, we are at a pandemic. Yeah. Every household, you can go in the communities, people suffer. Yes. And the sad thing is that we suffer silently. My beautiful people, the amount of us that's in this room, we can make a difference to our neighbors. We can make a difference to our friends. Because we need that. Who is going to do it for us? Anyone have an idea? Besides us doing it for ourselves, who else you have confidence in can do it for you? Dominicans for Dominicans at home and abroad. Likewise, Africans for Africans at home and abroad. We were taught that all what we have is inferior, and what is out there is superior. Our bodies, my beautiful people, our bodies are mineral factories. Our bodies thrive on minerals, nutrients for optimum health. You look at the blood. What's the predominant mineral in the blood? Is it not iron? If your blood lacks iron, what's going to happen? Your cell is going to sickle. You cannot concentrate. Iron. We can find the source for women, or red raspberry. Men, or stinging nettle. We also have, we mentioned cane juice. Do you know that cane juice contains iron that your body can break down and assimilate? We speak of fiber. What is the role of fiber in our body? The role of fiber will help us with proper elimination, to remove toxins and waste from our bodies. When you eat a fruit, yes, it may be sweet, but it's packed with fibers and other micronutrients. So your body, once again, can break down the sugars from these fruits much easier than the processed and ultra-processed sugars. We look at potassium. I learned that one of the reasons why persons suffer from hypertension and suffer for a lifetime is because of a deficiency of potassium. Because potassium helps to regulate sodiums in your blood. Do you know that the very drug medication, and mind you, I'm saying drug medication, you know when they say, oh, I'm not taking medication. No, it is drug medication. You are drugging yourself every day. But medications should work in synergy with your body to heal your body. We have minerals like magnesium. Magnesium is good for your heart, good for metabolism, energy production. Your glands need magnesium for proper functioning. Your heart needs magnesium for proper functioning. The foods that we eat should be wholesome. What we can consider to be a risk of magnesium. Most times, mucilaginous substances like our comfrey, or okra, excellent source of magnesium. We can just make a pot of okra soup. As I've presented a few dishes, and you have the privilege to sample. Okay? So we have raw green leaf vegetables. We look at spinach. We look at watercress. The very person that I mentioned to you. All these are good sources of potassium, magnesium, other trace minerals. When you have calcium, what comes to mind? The bones. Predominantly the bones. Okay? Now, your story now on calcium, I know my time is limited, but hear this story. We were told that drink milk. Milk. The dairy industry told us drink milk. Milk will help to strengthen our bones and to make our teeth stronger. But the research has shown that milk causes osteoporosis. The weakening of the bones, weak bones, brittle bones. Milk leaches calcium from our bodies rather than replenishing our bodies with calcium. We have left our coconut milk and we're going to Carnation, Dutch Lady. We have gone to what they call condensed milk, this concoction of sugar and this milk. Do you know what research have shown? You have pus, you have blood in this milk. Because you know why? Because the cow of old used to produce 1 liter of milk. Now, because of the demand for milk, they give the cow a vaccine they call the bovine vaccine. And now, this breast of these cows cannot sustain the milk. So you see these veins and blood and pus. It's in the milk. We give this to our children in the school feeding programs. And the evidence shows that black people, we are lactose intolerant. My Lord. My beautiful people, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And the decisions that we make, is very important. Our guava, we were told, don't eat guava, you get constipated. I live in this era. Don't eat guavas, you get constipated. Guava. Vitamin A. Vitamin C. Your brain have a copper plate. Copper is needed also. Because we need to understand that we are electrical beings. That's why I couldn't sit down for too long. I have to move. We are electrical beings. A thing like guava, our children, having the amount of guava I was brought up eating. Today, our children, are they eating these guavas? They will be eating mimics of these guavas through your sweetie flavors. Our guavas waste, make labu under the tree. We have everything we need, my beautiful people. Neem is one of the amazing plants we have. And do you know that in India, neem is considered to be a sacred plant? And we have neem all over the island. Recently, I was passing, and I saw them chopping on a neem tree, and was just throwing it away like this garbage. I said, no. You know, I changed my direction. I filled my vehicle with neem branches. I went back home because I know the significance of how important it is. It can save a life, for sure. Our sea minerals, we have not tapped into this energy. And that's a whole new world of vibrancy and healing. Our sea moss, along with our sea moss, our kelp. Do you know that these sea minerals contain a compound they call sodium arginate? And this sodium arginate is so powerful. Right now we are in about radiation. We are in about the cell phone, overuse of cell phones. Do you know that sea minerals can help to remove radioactive pollutants from your blood? Are you hearing me, my people? Nature produces or provides these simple remedies, these simple foods, these simple medicines that we are blessed with all around. And they are seasonal. Do we harvest our kelp? Do we harvest our sea moss? When last we had a soup made from kelp? When last we ever had a sea moss drink? And be mindful, knowledge is one thing, but utilizing the knowledge is another. Our lemons. Every client that I see have the privilege to start their mornings with lemons. And I know that lemons help to rejuvenate you from a cellular level. That is why after 9 days, persons come back full of energy. I have this elderly lady in consultation. She would hardly sit. You know, have pains in her joints, arthritis, rheumatism. After 9 days, she had no pain. I'm not no magician. I'm not a witch doctor, as they would call us in Africa. I use herbs for healing. And God as my guide. Lemons. I advise everyone to start your day with a warm glass of lemon juice. But not just the juice, you need the rind. You need the ascorbic acid in the skin of the lemon. So boil the skin, add it to the juice, and drink it first thing to start your day every morning. Cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper, my beautiful people. We are losing a lot of our natural herbs. Do you know that cayenne pepper can reverse or avoid heart attacks? Are we aware of that? A simple administration of cayenne, 1 little timazos, we call it, can prevent heart problems. Why? Because cayenne pepper contains these nutrients that we are seeing there. We have vitamin C, vitamin A. Cayenne pepper will also unclog these cholesterol deposits in your arteries. Cayenne pepper will increase oxygen flowing through your brain. It may sting like the other peppers, but the medicinal properties are totally different. Even your babies, do you know that in Africa, when a baby is born, they would break the tip from the cayenne pepper and just rest it on your tongue. And he said that will boost the immunological system. It will boost the immune system. Natural vaccine. My best friend, coconut oil. And that's the icing on my cake. Any food you see, like these foods, they're rich with fresh coconut milk. Not the powder, not the can, but the fresh coconut milk. Because coconut milk is amazing, my beautiful people. If you want a wholesome food, go back to your coconut oil, go back to your coconut milk. For the elderlies, I lament when we give our elderlies a product they call Ensure. 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 Your end sure. My beautiful people, this is not funny. But we cannot keep our face so stiff because it will crack. But Ensure has caused the demise of a lot of elderly people. Why? Because it is highly mucus forming. Enclosure. Bishop Bill Daniel, I was called to assist him in his final moments. We had a consultation. He couldn't respond. His wife could respond for him. And I told him about the power of herbs. And what I saw, and what herbs have been doing. I told him I'm willing to work with you because you can make a difference. Because I believe frankly that this gospel of healing should be preached in our churches. This gospel of healing is not separated or departed from the gospel of salvation. You need to be vibrant and strong to the will of the Creator. And He gives us the knowledge to know what to do when we are ill. Go to church on Sundays. The elderly is there. They don't come to church with a drug medication. That's the reality, my beautiful people. And it's because of our ignorance. It's not because of our lack. No, we are not lacking. So, I encourage you, don't let this session, be the conclusion of your venture to seek and to find more. Because there's so much to explore in the natural kingdom. We have clove. Clove. Clove oil. Clove. Take out this C. What you got? Love. And I'm here because of love. Nothing less. Because love is my statement, you know. Love is my statement. I know what love means to me. Love. I have been on the journey for a long time. I have been organizing. I have a vision. And I have to establish that vision. And that seeks love. L-O-V. So that's all I have to offer to you tonight. Clove. I let's call him clove. I was taught, one of the first medicines I was taught to make was garlic syrup. My mentor, Ferdinand Charles, better known as Disciple Caesar, anyone knows? Disciple Caesar. And I must call Disciple Caesar. I must call people like Ferdinand Belloc, Elder Blows. These are the foreigners that has paved this path that I'm walking upon. Elder George from Grand Four. These are the people that I look upon as those that have set the path or passed on the baton that I carry today. I know eventually I have to pass it on. That's why I have to be vocal. I have to speak. If you know me, I'm a very reserved man. Seriously. I don't understand what I'm doing here right now. Seriously. But I have surrendered to serve you. So clove now, I used to make garlic syrup. As I said, that's one of the first products that I was taught to make. But in research, and one of my greatest mentors and teachers was Dr. Sebi. You know of Dr. Sebi? Yeah. If you don't know, I'd be more than privileged to give you the history of Dr. Sebi. So Dr. Sebi told me that garlic is very acidic, and garlic is not a natural plant. In its origin, it may be natural, but it has been modified over the years. And I researched further into this, and I understood from other physicians that garlic actually burns your cells. It can cause a leaky gut. And I questioned this. After 10 years of producing a syrup, mastering a syrup, mastering medicine, sell it to all the pharmacies. Richard sold it, Jolly's Pharmacy, Bullseye Pharmacy, Miniers and 7-Eleven. But the information that I received, in my conscience, I could not make garlic syrup anymore. Because I purchased garlic from Richard. And it came from the Chinese. Thanks for your facial expression. That says a lot. It came from the Chinese. And I have no confidence in them. So I have to abandon this product. That was a cash crop. But money is not my objective. I want to find out what is healing. What is the medium of healing? And beautiful clove. Clove came to my rescue. And clove told me that I am more superior than garlic. I have been there longer than garlic. And most importantly, clove is innate to Dominica. We have cloves in Dominica. I have a clove right outside of my door. And that's the clove that I use to make the medicines for my clients. That's why I'm sure that you will be healed from my medicine. Because I know where the raw materials came from. Earlier today, I told a guy, excuse me, Miss Sweeney, I am so elated to speak to you this evening because this is not normal. I told a guy today, okay, if you eat a banana, I would ask you, how did it taste? You can tell me, you can describe. If you eat something sour, bitter, sweet, you can tell me. I told him, do you know that no one can tell the taste of a medication, of a tablet? And I said, wow. It shocked me because you put it in your mouth and you swallow. You don't chew. Where does digestion starts? You don't chew. So you have no idea what you're consuming. And for me, working at the pharmacy, going to the storeroom where the drugs are, my beautiful people, the stench of the drugs, it's intolerable. But we pop a pill and just swallow. Think about it. Our green papaya, our carica papaya, our wow fruit. This is a fruit, a medicine, and a blessing from God. Because of time, my beautiful people, amputations can be reversed. Amputations can be reversed. Green papaya as a poultice, applied on an ulcer, diabetic ulcer, can be healed. I have done it, I have seen it. As far as breast cancer, green papaya can be used in its raw form. You simply grate the green papaya as fine or puree as fine as you can, garnish it nicely. And one of the things, I don't want you to make your food and stitch up your face and make your face look like it's unpleasant. No! Make it nice, attractive, and palatable. When you come, you have a look at these dishes. Just the colors is going to make you smile. So the green papaya, celery, parsley, make it nice. A pinch of Himalayan pink salt. A tablespoonful of coconut oil. And have that as part of breakfast every single day. You will feel the difference. Green papaya, a good source of potassium, as we say, for hypertension. So with this, I conclude. Many more to say to you. But I wish that you can be empowered to reverse any illness that's sad but true you're suffering from. You have the ability. And the most profound statement I can make to you this evening. Your body has the ability to heal itself. It was designed that way. They just have no power over it than rather tell you, share information, give you the message. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you for your time. And I love you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your body has the power to heal itself. I thought Deja was going to give us all the information in the book. However, he gave us a little hint, and there are a lot more information to get. So this is why we are offering you the book, and this evening the price will be $175. We heard we are at war, and it must be a war because only in war people die like that. We are hearing our death announcement sometimes going for over 20 minutes. We are only 70,000 people, and we are hearing of young people dying. So we are really at war, and this evening, Dr. Lockhart and Deschamps is offering us something which will help us. We have to follow the guide, and probably we had lost our way, but the book is here now, which will help us. And now we're going to have a short session of questions. If you have any questions, you can just raise your hand, and we will have them answer us.
Thank you. Sorry, Deja, a quick question. The green papaya, what do you mean you can actually eat it green? Like no boil? Just cut it, grate it, eat it like that? Okay, thank you.
Because I am a patient of Dr. Deja, I will tell her, yes, you grate it on the finest side of your grater. And as he said, you garnish it so it will look good and you will enjoy it. Okay. Any other question? You are really asking the question for yourself, but all of us want to know because...
I was just asking him, what about almond milk and soya milk? Because I understood the soya milk have a lot of chemical, because the Chinese them, they spray the bean, but the almond milk is better to use.
Yes, soya in its origin, it's good. But we must understand, as I said, there are many things I could speak about. One of the things our book highlights is genetically modified organisms, genetically modified foods. And we know soya is one of the top 3 genetically modified foods. So we don't advocate the use of soya products. Even with the almond milks, the soya milk, and other milks, if you read the back of the label of the can, you will see they add dairy to it. So it can be trusted. So what I can advise you is you have your almond nuts. You could simply soak your nuts overnight for a few hours and then blend it and you're sure to have almond milk. So that's a safer way to use almond milk. But I strongly advocate our coconut milk. Fresh. Don't be lazy to grate it.
And I can encourage her if she has grandchildren. We have almonds all over Dominico. You collect it, you break it, and you make your milk. That's the almond. That's what we purchase at how much money, and we have it here.
I just also want to add to that, right? As Deja just said, coconut milk. The fact that it is grown close to us in our homes, it's part of our traditional food source. Our bodies have enzymes that already recognize coconut milk. So the breakdown is already going to be a lot easier than a food that is not just imported, but that is less localized to our DNA, to our digestive system, and to our entire structure.
Thank you so much, our holistic nutritionist.
Can you speak on the healing powers of the water that we have available here in Dominica, and also the preference or difference between drinking source water and tap water? I've heard a lot about Dominica having naturally great tap water, but also we have source water coming from underground and sulfur water and all types of stuff. So can you speak on how we can use water as a part of our healing, detoxing, and restorative journeys?
Thank you for your question.
Yes, water. Though in an island, we can boast of 365 rivers, one river for every day of the year. And yet still, we suffer from what we call dehydration. Because drinking water is one, but are your cells receiving the water that we drink? So when you look at the chlorinated water that we have, this is actually heavy water versus our source water, natural water. We call it mineralized water, also alkaline water. And this is what your body, loves. And water, as we know, helps to transport nutrients all over your body, all over the body. And as we have been taught that our body is like 75% water, so water is critical for our well-being. And in my opinion, the chlorinated water, it causes our body to be more acidic. It has chlorine in it, definitely.
Do you think it has a lot in comparison to other places, or is it minimal to the point that we can drink it and maybe it wouldn't be so bad? I'm trying to understand. Some people tell me drink tap water. I prefer Suze, but I don't necessarily have one next to me. I'm trying to figure out how invested should I be on getting my Suze water, making sure I have that, as opposed to sometimes when I run out, I'm like, okay, I need to drink the tap. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure out, is it like avoided by all means, or do we kind of want to look at tap water? What do you think?
Well, once you have the access to the source water, I will gladly tell you avoid the tap water. If there is no means for you to access source water, it may not be the worst water compared to other nations, but you have the privilege to have the best pristine water. Go for it. Yeah.
And difference between tap and bottled water here in Dominica, which is there,
Well, the bottled water go for a process, and they may add sodium in the water area. And
Typically, water in plastic bottles contain what they call microplastics, which affect our endocrine system. Our endocrine system is basically our hormonal system. And especially women, we need to protect our endocrine system at every stage. So at pre-puberty, puberty, post-puberty, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, we need to protect that. So avoiding so our tap water has chlorine. It also we've also have had records of it having fluoride. So those are what we need to avoid, because again it affects our ability to produce estrogens, and they also become negative estrogens in our bodies, right? That go against our basically against how our whole hormonal system works. So you're asking what is the best water? Source water, tap water, bottled water, right? So Source is the best, yes. Yeah. I'm gonna say bless your water, and then drink it, because if you compare the microplastics to the fluoride and chlorine, I don't know if one is better than the other at this point, right? So yes.
Another advice, when it comes to herbal medicines, you can use moringa in your water to purify your water. So I've heard that if you take the water from the tap that is chlorinated and have it stand for a period of time, adding moringa seeds or leaves, yes, helps to purify the water. Crush will help to make it more effective, you know? Yeah, yes.
My name is Olo Bonio. I'm from Scotland, and I compliment Deschamps and Paula and Ms. Perryman. I am a chemist, and I'm a cosmetician also. And the answer to your question is what they've said. Effectively, the best water is what you have boiled. And when it evaporates, it's pure, and that's your best water. Yes, it can be tap, it can be source, but source water is purer. You have to boil source. The source water we have in Point Michel, unfortunately, got contaminated because of the people they brought down from Petit Savan, who they didn't have to bring down from Petit Savan. Only a small section was affected. So, because the water then goes down, you get some impurities coming into the water. I got the water tested by the lab, and there was some bacteria in there. Not a lot, but there was some, so you got to boil source water. But the one in Loubier, when you're going up to, which we used to do Kibuli beer, you don't need to boil that. That's still quite pure. The one in Fombawa you don't need to boil. It's still quite pure, but you cannot take anything for granted, so you from time to time must always check. And the only way we can check is you've got to do experiments. And we have the best experimental lab in the Caribbean to test all those things. We have huge instruments. HPLC, Paula knows all the stuff. High-powered glass chromatography, just up in, not too far from Roseau. We have GLC, can't recall what it's called. And we have all of the equipment right here in Dominica to do all of the testing so we can have the best foods in the world.
Thank you so much for the information you shared. Anyone else has a question?
This question is in connection with our nutritionist. Can you just give us some examples of natural antibiotics, please?
Thank you for your question.
So it really depends on what the situation or what the challenge is, but oregano oil is a natural antibiotic, clove oil, tea tree oil. So there's several, there are many, but each one would be specific to a different area or a different type of use depending on what you have going on. Generally, when you're using natural remedies, you tend to have to use it for a longer period, and you tend to have to wait a little while longer. So where you may take a synthetic drug that might work in 12 to 15 hours, it may take several days or sometimes even weeks for something natural to work. And natural remedies normally work in conjunction with something else. So where you may be taking oregano oil for XYZ, you may also need to be massaging the area, or getting massages, or having acupuncture, or generally these things work better in tandem. And what happens is they have long-term sustainability. So you tend to never have that ailment again, or you tend to nothing else in your system ever gets thrown off balance, because what you've done is in line with the body, in line with full body healing. I hope that answered your question. Okay, so you're giving me a symptom, right? So basically, how I would work is I would do an analysis of what your life is like. What are you eating? What are you drinking? How are you exercising? Are you going to the bathroom every day? Like, I need to look at everything, and then I would give you not so much as a prescription, but a regime to follow. So in as much as you may have a carbuncle, a boil, or something under your arm, that is a sign of some type of inflammation in the body, right? So you're seeing something external from something that is more internal going on. So in as much as we can treat that immediately, but there's something else deeper that is happening, right, that needs to be looked at. Generally, I'm going to say that would be coming from your digestive system. So something is going on in your digestive system. So it could be like a candida overgrowth, where you could be eating a combination of carbohydrates that don't go together, and therefore it leaks into your bloodstream, and therefore it shows on the outer layer of your body. Or it could be a sign of gut dysbiosis. Gut dysbiosis is where the microbiome, I hope I'm using words that everybody understands, but the microbiome or the balance, the bacterial balance in your gut is thrown off. And now it's affecting different parts of your body, or it's showing in different parts of your body. So in as much as you're seeing one thing, but there could be something a little deeper that might be going on that you would want to look at a little bit more deeply. Also, to just to give some more depth or some more information, is once as women, I'm very passionate about women. I am very passionate about the different phases that we go through as women, because we are a lot more complex hormonally than men. Therefore, as a woman, you need to be constantly aware of everything, because your body it's easy to throw your body out of balance. And just by the fact that we are a woman and our body goes through so many different hormonal changes, it's constantly trying to recalibrate itself. So if you are a menopausal woman with these signs showing, carbuncles or whatever on your body, it could also be a sign of a hormonal imbalance, right? So it's a lot deeper than just looking at one thing, right? So we look at the gender, and we look at where the gender is at their point in their life and what's going on, you know. And we're also unique, that something that might work for me may not work for you, based on the fact that we live in different environments. We have different stressors. We have different ways of doing things, right? So so how I look at things is it's very unique, it's very personal, because we are personal and we are unique beings.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And Mr. Deja will give you a few more pointers on that, directly related to herbal medicine too. Because as Ariane mentions, it's a holistic approach.
Yes, just briefly, a carbuncle or ball is an indication of toxins, in your body. So the first step you should take is detoxification, cleansing your body. And if you know that some of the foods that can encourage, as Ariane said, the environment for fungus to grow, things like dairy, cheese, we love cheese, we love butter. All these are culprits, that can cause your condition. You spoke of antibiotics, synthetic antibiotics. You know what they do to your gut? It destroys all the good flora, all the good bacteria in your gut, which you have to do your best to avoid antibiotics. So my recommendation to you is do a detoxification. I can assist you, put you on a 9-day detox. There is a specific plant that is called bleeding heart. Anyone knows bleeding heart? It's shaped like a dasheen leaf, but it's a heart shape. And it has red spots and green spots. The root of the bleeding heart can be used to extract or expel the pus from the carbuncle or from the boil. Because another thing, if the sac is not totally removed, it can find itself in another area of your body. So the first thing is detoxification. And as a poultice, so the bleeding heart, you can use as a poultice. A poultice is taking plant material, whether it's the leaves, the backs, or the roots. You macerate it, you crush it into a paste, and you apply it on the affected area. Put a little pinch of salt, and apply it. And the next day, be surprised, you're going to extract all this stuff from the carbuncle. So it's a accumulation of toxins that can cause the condition.
Okay, thank you for all your questions. We are trying to get us out of here this evening. However, you want to have a last question?
For some people that not eating meat, they would like something to substitute. So what you can tell them to substitute, if in case they're not eating meat and they want to eat something? What about tofu?
The answer is in the book. Purchase the book. For those of us not eating meat and we want to have our diet, the answer is in the book. So you have tofu, at least you know tofu. But remember, he said green pawpaw. There are a number of things you eat. You just forget about meat. They are plant-based. You have your Christophine. Remember, he said about the Christophine. And the balance of the answer is in the book. We have heard about our diet, we have heard about our different things, and sometimes our body just feel like getting that touch. And now we call on Amani Sorrendo to speak to us about holistic health therapy.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It's good to be back home, I was born here, had a journey to the UK, and now I'm back here for good. So thank you, God. That's all I can say. And one of the things that surprised me, working with so many, primarily women in the UK, was how well Dominica was doing. But now I'm back. I was so surprised to see how our health has deteriorated so greatly. Working with women in particular with fibroids, over hundreds of women I've helped through also support by Deja, referred people to him, but also in the UK as well. We are 6 times more likely as black women to experience, and have fibroids. So we need to look at that. But this is not really about me. This is really to honor and celebrate these 2 amazing, amazing authors, Renauld, Deschamps and Dr. Reynolds, for this incredible book. And look around you, just look around you. The seat's empty. There should be thousands of people here right now, but you're never going to get that at a health event, if each one of us don't make a pledge tonight, that each one of us will go and tell somebody else about this great book and about these great healers, okay? The body of work that reminds us of something both ancient and urgently relevant. That is the power of herbs and herbal medicine. I can testify. I had 6 fibroids. They were, one of them as large as a grapefruit. And when I went to my doctor in the UK, he said, you have to cut your womb out. And I said, hell no. And that's what set me on a journey years ago to be a fibroids coach and helping people to eliminate their fibroids naturally. Non-communicable diseases like hypertension, diabetes, strokes, and cancers are now our leading causes of death. Around 22% of adults live with high blood pressure, hypertension. 11% have diabetes. Nearly 60% of Dominicans are overweight. Stroke remains our leading cause of death, while cancers and circulatory diseases together account for almost 2/3 of all the deaths in recent years. These numbers tell a story, beloveds. One of imbalance, stress, inflammation, and disconnection from the natural gifts that once kept our community strong. We've heard it, haven't we? Our elders, the centenarians, I went and sat with them. They said to us what kept them healthy and strong, and it was diet and nutrition and love for the Creator. So herbal medicine can and does help restore that balance, take us back to nature. Herbs offer the accessibility. We've heard about it. They grow in the soil, our backyards, our forests. They offer prevention. They help us manage our blood sugar. They help us manage our blood pressure, our inflammation. They help us with stresses and toxic detoxification. And they offer cultural connections, beloved. Many people said, because we're from Dominica, because we're from that soil, eat the things that are closest to us. Yeah? Yes, when I was in the UK, I had a mango once in a while, right? Just to remember home. But I also ate from the organic farms locally because I had to. Because if you were eating organically from the closest things to you, rather than me getting a yam and it's sitting in a warehouse for 6 years sprayed before I eat it in the UK, which one is going to be healthier for me? So a reminder that our grandmothers and healers and the bush doctors held this ancient wisdom, and it passed down through generations. Now we are the generations. Because, beloved, if we don't do this for our children, we're just going to see coffin after coffin, okay? And it's going to be younger and younger young people. So in the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt in Africa, there was a great herbal physician called Imhotep, all right? And Imhotep, do you know, there is a symbol in the medical profession even today that acknowledges him with the staff and the serpent. And we look at that all the time in the medical profession. They honor our great African physicians, but they are not telling us about that, right? They want to keep that to themselves and have us impoverished through poor food. This isn't about rejecting modern medicine, because sometimes, right, when things get really bad, we have to go to the conventional medicine. This is about preventative work. A simple tea like lemongrass, turmeric, may not replace a prescription. It may. But it can certainly help us at the beginning to start addressing these illnesses. For women's health issues like fibroids and cysts and PCOS and endometriosis, which affect so many of us, herbs can and will address these things. I've worked with women here who've had fibroids as big as watermelons, and over the months and years, they have healed themselves. If we invested in this research, supporting this brother and sister here through the promotion of this book and the safe practices of herbal medicine, it can really boost our economy through local herbal industries here. It could actually help with sustainability and helping people with livelihoods here. We could actually have young people selling this book on the street and getting a little commission, right, Deschamps? So as you can see, this work that Renauld and Dr. Jacobs is doing is very, very close to our hearts. It's beyond statistics. It's about reclaiming our rich heritage. It's valuing the plants, divine intelligence and wisdom to heal, and that this knowledge has always sustained us. So don't give up on it, beloved. So let tonight, as we celebrate this book, let's not just leave here and ignore the words that we've heard today. Dominica, we must address this health tsunami, and we must do it now. Thank you.
Thank you so much for reminding us that we have a health tsunami, and it is not a positive one, it is a negative one, and we must address it. After we have consumed all this information, we know we are going to purchase the book. We now have Abia to have a lighter session with us. Are you ready? And at the same time, while listening to her musical interlude, we encourage you, come and have a taste of nature.
Shalom, Mabrika, greetings to everyone here tonight. I am Abia Yisrael, Dr. Lockhart. Dr. Deja we call him Dr. Deja in my household. I always know him as Dr. Deja. I didn't even know. You understand? He's a doctor in our household. Thank you for sharing this. I am inspired. So that means your work continues. The song I'm going to sing is Herb Tree. Please allow me to just check the volume. All right. Yeah. Abia. Keeper of the covenant, seed of Abraham, Messiah set me free from Babylonian misery. So much bloodshed and war, not ever we can't find declare. Man-made disaster. Nowhere to run, just like the herb tree I'm planted in waters that never dry. Yahweh, Lord is my guidance, Yeshua my light. Though I walk through the valley with death so near, I shall not fear. Chant Baruch, Baruch, Baruch Atah, sing praise to Yahweh. Never will be enslaved again. 400 years, prophecy will rise again. Cause we're fed up of this struggle and unkept promises, oppression by the hands of our brothers and sisters. Lack of love, just like the oak tree, in waters that never dry. Yahweh, Lord is my guidance, Yeshua my light. Though you walk through the valley with death so near, you shall not fear. Chant Baruch, Baruch, Baruch Atah, sing praise to Yahweh. Blessed are they who abstain from the system, hustle hard and chant down Babylon. Righteous order, Yahshua the leader, Melchizedek, every day I be a trust. So just love, show love, give love, spread love. We can change the world today, just like the oak tree, in waters that never dry. Yahweh, Lord is my guidance, Yeshua my light. Though I walk through the valley with death so near, I shall not fear. Chant Baruch, Baruch, Baruch Atah, sing praise to Yahweh. Hey. Keeper of the covenant, seeds of Abraham, Messiah set us free from Babylonian misery. So much bloodshed and war, no earth, no it, no declare. Man-made disaster, nowhere to, just like the oak tree. Voices that never change. Yeshua my light, good touch so near. I shall not spare. Jump up, and sing praise to Yahweh, just like the oak tree in waters that never dry. Yahweh, Lord is my guidance, Yeshua my light. Though you walk through the valley with touch so near, you shall not fear. Chant Baruch, Baruch, Baruch Atah. Sing praise to Yahweh, just like the oak tree. Give thanks, give thanks. Oh, everyone come ahead, go ahead. I actually walk out of my house barefoot to ground myself, so go ahead. Dr. Deschamps, allow me to do one more. This is our season, and we speak patois, we speak Creole, so we're going. All right, this one is called Levy. Let my one
These are some of the dishes here that you can find the recipes in the book.
You want anything? No, because they will take this one. So I will take one and
So this was the book launch, the Herbal Physician's Guide to Food and Nutrition by Herbal Physician Renauld, Deschamps, and Dr. Paula, Lockhart. So those of you online who are interested in getting the book, you can always check on Amazon. If you are not here tonight, you can always check on Amazon and purchase your copy on Amazon. We thank you for joining us this evening, and we hope that you were well educated.